Welcome to Civilian Jeeps. I'm Jake, and today we're at the 2024 Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Now, I'm going to try to shoot as much as I can about this event and tell you a little bit about it and what you might expect to see if you come to something like this. Might be some voiceover though, because there is a lot of background music and I don't want YouTube to take it down. So I look forward to showing all this to you. Stick around and let's dive right into it. Like stated, this is the 2024 Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Now, this event each year just keeps getting larger and larger and larger. For instance, last year at the 2023 Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, it was said the official numbers was 22,000 Jeeps and over 50,000 people. And I fully believe that there's probably in the upper 20s this year as far as Jeeps go, and well over 50,000 people. This event is absolutely massive. It goes on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and events here throughout the event. As far as the Hard Rock Kickoff Party is Wednesday, and then there's after parties at the Quaker Steak and Lube. Those take place, I believe, Thursday. Don't quote me on that, but definitely Friday evening and Saturday evening. And a lot of people ride Cades Cove on Sunday evening. So this event just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger the more that it's put out to the public. Now, they say that this is the largest Jeep event in the world, definitely the United States, and the United States has the most Jeeps, so this would be the biggest Jeep event in the world. Now, Jeep Beach says that they rival this and that they went back and forth, but I've been to both events, and I don't know if it's just because Jeep Beach is more spread out, but this event definitely feels bigger than Jeep Beach. So at Jeep Invasion, you really have three main areas that you're going to go check out. First one would be the indoor vendor area inside the LeConte Center, and it is air conditioned and it feels quite nice because trust me, it'll probably be pretty hot if you make your way to the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Now, the indoor vendor area has a lot of nice vendors, RCV. I remember seeing them there. You can see Midland, Spiderweb Shade. A lot of big name vendors are inside the LeConte Center. However, the outside portion that I'm going to be showing you guys later, the vendor area that I think is honestly bigger than the indoor section, and it's located across the road. And those vendors are also very reputable high-end dealers and vendors, so I would also go check that out. Now, the third area outside of the LeConte Center being number one, the outdoor vendor area being number two, the third area that they have is really the show and shine area, and there's some extremely clean Jeeps in the show and shine area, but not even so much clean, just stuff that you don't really see much. That's one of the big reasons that I like coming to Jeep Invasion. Now, outside of the ducks and the angry grills and the stickers and just some of the tacky Jeep accessories and little, vendors that I don't really care much for, that shouldn't deter you from coming to Jeep Invasion, because you can see some crazy stuff, just like this AEV Brute. I mean, I see them at Ruba Trucks. That's where this one's from. That's in Boone, North Carolina. But how often would the average person just see a Brute driving down the road? Like, there are some nice built Jeeps here, and I look forward to coming to Jeep Invasion every year just to see these extremely nice built Jeeps. Now, even the ones that look like they're strictly show, a lot of them do get used. They just have them extremely clean for this event. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a decent amount of Jeeps that come to this, especially the ones out in general parking in the parking lot, that don't actually get used. Like, you can tell they've never seen a dirt road, and they're extremely clean. But hey, to each their own. If that's the way you want to use your Jeep, it's none of my business. If you make the payment or you got the Jeep paid off, that's your Jeep. Do whatever you want to with it. But let me just go back on topic here, and let me talk about some of the vendors that's actually inside the LeConte Center. You have AEV, Bilstein, Hankook, Rugged Ridge, The Smoky Mountain Jeep Club has a trailer you can see there selling t-shirts. JKS is there, Spiderweb Shade, Overland Outfitters, RCV, Dana Axle. I mean, there's tons and tons of just really high-end dealers and vendors that come to this event to showcase their newest, latest, and greatest products. Also, Windrock OHV Park also has a booth set up here because Oliver Springs, where Windrock is located, is about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half down the road. And if you really want to use your Jeep and do some serious crawling, I highly recommend that you go check out Windrock OHV. It's the biggest and most well-known OHV park in the South. It has everything from a green trail to go up to see the windmills to black diamond trails that you really need like a rock bouncer or something that you do not care about the body panels, because that's the thing with Jeep Invasion. You can go to this show, see all the vendors, see all what they have to offer, but then travel an hour and a half down the road and go do some serious wheeling. And you really don't even have to do that. If you want to do more of like mild stuff, maybe like Hurricane Creek, or there's tons of other options around there for trails, just good sightseeing trails, that not even necessarily Cades Cove. So there's tons of stuff that you can do outside of Jeep Invasion in East Tennessee. If you've never been to East Tennessee, you really need to check it out. Now what I'm showing you here is the Winter Circle. Now the Winter Circle has, in order, it's going to go Willis MB, Ford GPW, CJ2A, CJ3A, CJ3B, and then CJ4 was skipped, and then you go CJ5, CJ6, CJ7, which you see here, the CJ8 Scrambler, then you have the CJ10, and then once you get past the CJ10, I think it goes to FC170, and then it goes down the line. You see like a full-size J10 truck, some Cherokees, full-size Cherokees that is, then it goes to the XJs and the YJ, the TJ, LJ, JK, JL, JT. You can just see the whole line at this Winter Circle, and it's really nice to see the era and time frame of Jeep. Well, that was inside the LeConte Center here in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I hope you enjoyed the voiceover so far. No shot on being able to actually video with the audio inside the LeConte Center, just way too much loud music. Let's go on top of the hill, look at the outside vendor section in the Show and Shine. Now this is the Show and Shine portion of the event, and it's located to the north of the LeConte Center, right across Teaster Lane. Now Teaster Lane is extremely busy, but it's nice that they've added a bridge. So you walk right out of the back of the LeConte Center, go across the bridge to cross over Teaster Lane, and you can easily get to the Show and Shine portion, and that would be the next section that you come to. And then on the other side of the Show and Shine, that you'll see a little later, is the outdoor vendor area. Now this Show and Shine also shares a parking lot with the VIP parking, and honestly it kind of sounds a little sad, but the VIP parking, it didn't look to be full this year, and their parking can be an issue at this event. So there are some people that pay the price for VIP parking, but honestly I wouldn't recommend it. You can find a parking spot somewhere. A lot of people have to park on the grass, and some people even get tickets, and I'll talk about that a little later, because there are some hefty tickets that get distributed at this event for improper parking. Now in the Show and Shine, you'll see anything from like 1941 Willis MB all the way to a 2024, whatever the newest model is, Jeep, extremely built, or something that's not even built at all. They actually have categories that you can sign up for, and there are awards. Typically what I was showing earlier, the Winner Circle, they choose those out of the winners of the previous year Show and Shine. So that's how the Winner Circle is usually compiled, by what Jeep model and make you have in the Show and Shine, what won the previous year. If you're coming the next year, they go out to the Winner's Circle, or at least that's what I've been told. But they have pretty much everything you can possibly think of at this event. I know I've seen a lot of old, really nice CJs. There was a beautiful M716 Kaiser that I showed at the beginning of this. And then there's some old J10 trucks. There's more of the AEV Brutes. You can see there's one to the left of this old Jeepster. This old Jeepster is really nice too. I mean, look at that. It's got old Buick V6 in it. This blue color just screams, let's go to the beach. So if you've not noticed by now, I typically go after tastefully well-built, still modified, still nice, well-built Jeeps and classics. I'm not as big on, 20 to 22 inch wheels and, little skinny tires and big lifts and underglow and just stuff that just I feel like really takes away from the true meaning of a Jeep. Now, this one called Rockzilla on these Super Swampers, this one's extremely big, and you can see on the tire there, I mean, those have to be over 50-inch tires. Now, I think the guy actually drives this on the street. I feel like I've seen it on Instagram, so it is, used per se. It's really clean. I don't know if he takes it off road, but maybe he just cleaned it up for the show and shine. That's the thing with this event. There's just so much wild stuff that you'll see in the show and shine. Now, this CJ5 was honestly probably my favorite at the entire event. It's got a Ford 5.0 under the hood, a C4 automatic transmission. It's got a Dana 300. It's got a Ford 9-inch rear with a high pinion 44. It's got Corbo seats, PRP harness, really nice CJ dash. It's got Tom Woods drive shafts. I mean, this thing is built, and it's just extremely nice. Now, look at this. This is my Jeep, and I put it in here because, one, I'm extremely happy with my hardtop that I got. My Bulldog hardtop has been a game changer for this Jeep, and I wanted to put a plug in for that real quick on this video. One thing I would like to mention about Jeep Invasion is they are very stringent on parking. Look at this. That person got a ticket. The reason they supposedly got a ticket is because this truck was parked here, and it says on their ticket they were taking up 2 spaces. This person here got a ticket, and those tickets are $168. This person here got a ticket. Their front tire is hanging off the curb. And these people right here all in the grass, they did not get tickets. They're very stringent on parking policies. So you can park in the grass, but you cannot park and hinder other motorists. They have a policy on their website that talks about where you can and cannot park. So just make sure that you guys know where you can and can't park at this event, because if it's past 8:30, there's a good chance you're going to park in the grass and do some tricky parking. Now we've made it to the outdoor vendor area, and typically this is where you're going to see vendors that require more space for their display, or they have a lot, like multiple Jeeps that they're needing to show off. So the vendor area just gives a lot more room than the LeConte Center would allow. Now you can see this TJ here that's got a custom bed on the back. It's a YouTuber I watch. It's called Built Different Garage. It's the craft. It's his dad and him, the son, built this thing, and I really enjoy watching their channel. So go ahead and watch Built Different Garage. It's really cool. He put a throttle down custom frame on it, and he's just done tons of custom work to this TJ. But that kind of leads me into something else I'd like to talk about. If you have big YouTubers that you like to watch that are Jeep related, there's a good chance they're going to be at this Jeep event. And not even YouTubers, Instagrammers, just social media people in general. Not only are big vendors at this event, but people that are well known in the Jeep community. I saw Fred Williams. There's a girl that drives a really nice XJ, Oreo the XJ. She was there. Peck Brothers, I met Peck Brothers. Go check out their channel. They're doing a crazy mini Chinese wrecker build. And if you like YouTube Jeep related content, there's a really good chance that you're going to find them here. And I showed earlier the Stepchild Jeep from Light Bright. They're usually here. There's just so many YouTubers that come to this event. That's why the Jeep Invasion space, whenever you talk about Jeep Invasion, is pretty packed with videos, because there's so many YouTubers that come here like myself. Now, if you clicked on this video, one of the reasons was probably this CJ5, because it's the thumbnail, and this CJ5 is extremely clean. Greg Griffith is the one that owns this Jeep, and I talked to him for a while, and he's at the Overleys 4-wheel drive booth. And if you're not sure about Overleys 4-wheel drive, they put on 4-wheeling for a cure. It's a St. Jude fundraiser, and it's a really good thing that you should really check out and look into. I did a whole video on it. It's the previous video. It's 6 minutes long, where I talk about Brian Overley's 1977 CJ7 and the St. Jude fundraiser. So please go watch that video if you have the time, and donate to St. Jude if you have the means to do so. Now, outside of just old CJs at the Overleys 4-wheel drive booth, you have really nice JTs like this one with half doors. I don't know what it is about a JT with no roof and half doors, but the thing just looks like it was meant to come that way from the factory. And honestly, I know a fair amount about Jeeps, but I don't know that a JT can come from the factory with half doors. I guess you could custom order it, but anybody I've ever known to have half doors, they get them through like Facebook Marketplace or somebody that had a JL. So if you know if JTs can come from the factory with half doors, let me know. I don't mean to ramble on. Let's get back to the vendor area. Now, some of the vendors that you'll see in the outdoor vendor area would be like Quadratech, Dirty Life Beadlocks, the Crawl Her for female Jeepers, Magnaflow, Alpine, Mickey Thompson, Rockstar Garage, Rhino USA, Hercules Tires. I mean, there's just so many. DS18, so many big vendors that are in the outside vendor area and showcasing their latest products. A few miscellaneous items I'd like to discuss is the admission price. It's $20 for adults and $6 for kids 6 through 12. Now, if you're 13 or over, it's $20, and ages 5 and under are free. Now, you can't purchase tickets in advance, but however, I'm pretty sure they did a pre-sale on Thursday that you could purchase tickets for multiple days. And they do accept credit cards. I've already discussed the parking. The VIP parking, I don't personally think it's worth it, but that's to each their own. No outside food or drink is allowed in the LeConte Center. There's no COVID restrictions this year, although I have been to Jeep Invasion in the past when COVID was in full swing and they still didn't have COVID restrictions. I would say this event is very right-wing based, to say the least, which I really enjoy. But anyway, I'm not going into politics. There is a list of participating vendors. You can buy that for $5, although there's an app that is called Avenza Maps, and then Cartotrax actually makes a map that you can upload into Avenza Maps, and you can see exactly where you're at and where the vendors are located, which is nice. I'll probably do a separate video of that one day. You do not have to own a Jeep or a Wrangler in general to attend this event. Now, whenever this event first started, it was kind of backwards. You did have to have a Wrangler, not even just a Jeep. You had to have a Wrangler to attend it, but since they have changed that. Now, as you can see here, this is the nightlife of the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, and honestly, if you enjoy sitting in traffic, this is the event for you because it's a lot of traffic and a lot of LED lights. Now, this is the Quaker Steak and Lube, and this is where they all go to hang out and, you know, blast loud music, and it's just one big dance party, really. So that's at the Quaker Steak on Friday and Saturday nights. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Civilian Jeeps and checking out this overview of the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. I'm going to go ahead and leave things off here. If you have a question for me about this event, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. And when it comes to Jeeps, keep it classic.